Hi everyone! Would you like to check how sciences courses and labs were managed during the pandemic at Notre Dame University NDU in Lebanon? If so, just stay tuned for 15 minutes and I, Esther Ghanem, Associate Professor of Biology at the Faculty of Natural and Applied Sciences at NDU, will display general methodologies used to meet the course learning outcome and the practical objectives in a virtual, yet effective and interactive manner. Proud to join the 3rd International Congress on Online Education 2022 and so excited to present to you my talk entitled Managing Sciences Courses and Labs Remotely. My presentation will kick off with a broad timeline of the e-learning journey in Lebanon, followed by how academically NDU, both faculty and staff, was fit online to adapt to the digitalization. Then I will reveal the identity of the Magic Wand platform, where the operation and management of various strategies to engage students and assess their performance was mainly based, and at the end we'll leave you with open questions. In fact, the transit to e-learning in Lebanon started one semester prior to the onset of COVID. So back in October 2019, Lebanon witnessed political turbulence, which led to closure of roads and the strikes, so students couldn't commute to the university, and the only way to keep to rescue the academic semester was for us to meet students online via Zoom or Skype for Business. Then, being primed with e-learning, students passed 2 consecutive semesters during the quarantine, where the entire country or even the world was dormant. Their students were active, education was vivid via virtual connection. Then in spring 21, life was gradually restored due to the vaccination. And here NDU opted for blended e-learning, whereby some of the sessions were taking place on campus and others online. And this situation continued for 2 other semesters due to the socio-economic crisis that happened in Lebanon. So we continued with sessions either MWF or TTH and meeting with the students. Also, it's worth noting that amidst the pandemic, we had several adjustments to the curriculum, to the grading system that I will discuss in a while. The online transformation would not have been possible without online academic fitness profile by the faculty and students that I will discuss in the next slide. So in the slide, we see that both faculty and students, they have the ease to use a common online learning platform that allowed students to access the material digitally and also the faculty to upload the course material and also to conduct e-tests. Moreover, faculty showed readiness for training by the IT center, and this was faced by the flexibility of the faculty and students to adapt to various platforms and to migrate from a software to another, ending up on Microsoft Teams. The transition was successful since also faculty showed online availability beyond the weekly classes, even during the weekend. So we had an online status available for students via WhatsApp, via Microsoft Teams, etc. And also the use of certain twists on assessment measures in the curriculum aided students to boost their e-learning process. Now, all this academic fitness would not have been possible and achieved without a virtual learning environment that NDU deployed for a decade. Yes, for more than 10 years, NDU uses the Blackboard as the only VLE, virtual learning environment, a platform that allowed the selection of material from the Open Education Resource, OER, and this is why I refer to it as the Magic Wand, because in Adobe Photoshop, you can select an image from the black background and then post it, and this is how material was selected and posted on Blackboard, and with just a click, students were able to access it. Also, Blackboard acts as a hub to various boards, provided a platform for web links, publishers, e-connect resources, and also tools for us to use for e-test, grading, announcements, discussion, and archiving. In the next slide, we see that NDU promoted OER since 2014 and holds the 15th UNESCO OER chair in the world, and replacing books, strengthening international cooperation between universities, exchange of knowledge, and e-resources. Now, the next slide, we see that methodologies to engage students include videotaping of selected oral topics. This is either synchronized, so recording during the lecture, or asynchronized, and also engagement via weekly news, access to magazines and journals on the internet that students used to reinforce their learning and also to connect it to COVID situations. So we were discussing, let's say, in immunology, bioinformatics, relevant news to understand COVID infection, immune responses, etc. Also, students were asked and given incentive for recording their experiments at home, DIY, do-it-yourself. Example, strawberry DNA extraction. I will show you in the next slide a picture of this. And also they were referred to online lectures from other universities and converted their senior seminar thesis to webinar. So in the next slide, we see here Nadim Mitri, an MS student. So on purpose, I put this because some students, they were given exception to access the lab just to finalize their master thesis. And on the other hand, Nagam Hashim performing DNA extraction from home. Excellent students, excellent work. And other examples, but for the sake of time, we cannot put it. Next, we see the webinar for COVID done by Tina Habshi. This was also an outstanding webinar, open to the public. We also hosted a virologist from AUB. So this was motivating for the student to showcase her seminar, not only to her classmates, but beyond the class boundary. In the next slide, we see that class material was modified to integrate many video tutorials and also was connected to many web links. So here we see a list of virtual labs and web links. Some videos were directly connected via Blackboard to the course. Example, in the next slide, we see here chapters provided by McGraw-Hill that are connected to many animations and videos, so the students had to access them, repeat them, based on the pace of learning in order to grasp the concept. As for the virtual labs, in the next 3 slides, I will give you 3 examples. In the first slide, we see learning the aseptic technique. This is a virtual tour provided by Thermo Fisher, an excellent tool. The student moves in the lab and given instruction cannot, in a stepwise manner, cannot step from one step to another without fulfilling and comprehending the concept. And at the end, reaching the hooded chamber to culture cells. In the second slide, we see the use of a 3D cell viewer. This software allows students to look at cells, observe them, not by the microscope, but directly via the eye of the laptop. So we have here a stained cell, and we can look at different compartments in the cell, the nucleus, the membrane, vesicles, using pseudo colors. Very nice software, and it mimics real observation of cells under the microscope. Then we move to the third slide, protein purification in biochemistry, a course that I taught for as an introductory to biochemistry. Also a nice software provided by the University of Leeds in the UK. The student here selects the mixture of proteins that is needed, decides which protein to purify. Then we have different methods. Let's say filtration by Cefadex G50. The student gets the fractions, then select the fractions, decides which method to observe these fractions, Comase blue, immunoblot, enzymatic activity, and so on. And at the end, deciphering the property of the protein. Excellent. So to assess whether these strategies were effective, definitely we looked at their performance via exams, however, with a twist in the grading system. So NDU gave us the light to go for a pass-fail option instead of letter grade. And also, instead of 2 exams, we replaced them with 1 midterm. Instead of the oral, the final, we replaced by oral presentation, recorded lab experiments, comprehensive instead of cumulative exam. And the pass-fail option alleviated the stress on students and served as a positive feedback to boost the entire e-learning output and also place ethical values during examination and thereby preventing plagiarism, cheating, and stress. But what is more important for us in our curricula also is to cultivate lifelong learners and true leaders that can possess core values and are able to achieve sustainable self-development. So for this, in our program, we look at values and skills like collaboration, communication skills, technology-related skills, and also practical skills. For this, we designed a small survey, recruited 200 students, and over a period of 10 days, 51 respondents gave their satisfaction level over 5, with 5 stars scoring the highest satisfaction. For the sake of time only, we will project on technology and practical skills results. So in the next slide, we see technology-related skills like the use of apps and softwares ensured successful e-learning process with fast access to course material, and this was satisfactory with a 4-star. Moreover, our educational infrastructure was ramped up by deploying iCloud, also Share, Dropbox, etc. And those were user-friendly and highly satisfactory, and also aided students to reach their e-learning objective. Now, in the next slide, for the virtual labs, 25% marked 4 to 5 stars, and interestingly, comparable hits for 1 and 5 stars. But the tendency was to favor hands-on instead of virtual lab. We assume that this could be influenced by the fact that more than half of the participants already were exposed to hands-on and the conventional way of doing practical. In the next slide, 2 testimonies I selected from students with satisfactory and highly satisfactory feedback are displayed. So let's wait for 1 minute to see the 2 testimonies. We have Rana Nainu. She's a master's student.
I took cellular and molecular immunology course with Dr. Ghanem in fall 2020. It was an online course due to the pandemic. Still, it was a great experience for me.
And on the other hand, we have Julian Haroun, a BS in biology.
Some of the courses I took during the online period include physiology, organic chemistry, immunology, and environmental science, as well as many other courses.
Fine. We move please to the next slide. Last but not least, are we ready to sustain blended e-learning to meet the speed of modern life and prepare independent learners who are ready to embark on online job market? If so, would NDU or other institutes support the integration of blended e-learning to reshape higher education? And would this provide quality education and reach sustainable development goal for quality learning? Finally, who knows if the impact of digital revolution will influence our brain neuroplasticity and cognitive abilities. Thank you for listening and hope you enjoyed.